open the door to this Delaware operation and get a taste of farming in Delmarva.
Diversity has been our key.
And for TJ Schiff, it's diversity that's paying off.
We operate a country elevator farm, corn, soybeans, wheat, and barley, run a feedlot, and diversified into residential housing.
While it's diversity helping him weather the financial headwinds, big yields in 2017 are also providing some financial cushion.
We had a super soybean crop, and that brought cash flow to farmers that was really a little bit of an unknown of where it was going to come from.
It's the bustle of trucks moving grain in and out that's proof demand in this area is strong.
Pretty much all of our corn, which we're a big corn growing area, goes to the poultry industry.
Solid demand is helping basis, but farming in this area isn't easy. And the biggest challenge is the size of farm fields.
I would think you could easily say our average field size is 30 to 40 acres, 50 acres.
Schiff says it's not just the size of the fields, but trying to move from one farm to the next that creates chaos.
It's hard to be efficient here. It's hard to be able to have around-the-clock operations when you have the amount of people in our area.
It's the need to cover a variety of acres spanning over several miles, creating demand for large horsepower tractors.
I think the 8000 series tractors have brought a lot of versatility. On some days they can do the small job, and on other days they can do the big job.
It's that type of equipment driving business for Atlantic Tractor Company.
Large row crop tractors for us is it's critical. We like 300 horsepower row crops.
The dealership's footprint expands into Maryland and New Jersey, an area that supports a poultry industry always hungry for feed.
Row crop tractors is always the sexy piece of equipment, you know. For us in this region, we use row crop tractors 12 months a year.
The need for larger equipment hasn't changed, but how often a customer upgrades has evolved.
For customers that were trading combines every year or every 2 years, they're used to 1,000 or less hour combine. Now they've run them for 3 or 4 years and they're in the 2,000 hour range. Those customers now would start thinking about upgrading either to a lower hour used one, or they would want to get back in the new cycle to get those hours back down.
He says that could spur a 10% increase in purchases of larger machines this year.
Demand was good. We saw 2017 was a good year coming out of the previous couple years. Saw a big push on used equipment towards the end of 2017 for us.
It's the surprisingly strong finish to 2017 that has the interest of Machinery Pete.
The one thing I'm wondering about is if and when the price of corn does go up just a little bit, it's almost like we've set this pressure valve to pop, and that'll be new sales and used sales. So until that happens, it's still a great opportunity to upgrade, I think.
Search traffic for planters on MachineryPete.com was up 25% in November and December, and Machinery Pete says it's still a good time to buy.
Still planters, a little bit used planters, there's a lot of them out there. Values are a little bit softer, although I would say December picked up a little bit. And a large tillage. You get up over 50 foot, the discs, the rippers. There's some really good buying opportunities there.
Technology is a major piece. I didn't visualize what technology was going to do for us 10 years ago. I really thought technology was going to be for other parts of the country, but it's amazing how we've become dependent on it.
He says area farmers have invested in the technology and infrastructure needed to raise the bar on growing crops.
And that's why you've seen there's a lot of irrigation that's been put in, because we need those 270s. We've got to count on the 270s. We've got to be able to sell that 270 a year before we produce it. We can't wait to see what the yield is to market the crop.
It's not just managing for higher yields driving decisions, it's also increased regulations when farming near the Chesapeake Bay.
Field management is critical. Nutrient management is critical. Application passes is critical. Site-specific farming for us, we have varying soil conditions, we have a variety of pH.
While the concerns about runoff into the watershed are still high, Schiff says technology is making farming easier.
I think we're learning how to satisfy what they want accomplished and still turn it into a big crop. Before technology, we anticipated them just keeping a lid on our yields. I think with technology, we're removing that lid.
While the story of 2018 is still unwritten, used values continue to find solid ground.
I think we're 2 years into used values stabilizing. I would say probably a continuation of that. Maybe we tend to see in the middle of the year, from about St. Patrick's Day through October, values tend to weaken a little bit. So if you're looking to buy, that would be maybe the time to do it.
And that's creating a better outlook for equipment dealers.
You know, again, a big push on the technologies that we see, you know, integrating more and more farmer customers, hearing from their neighbors that may be on the leading edge using some of this stuff, wanting to adopt some of these practices into their own operation.
Producers like Schiff in the East are ready to take 2018 head on.
I see, both as a grain buyer and as a producer, we're having opportunities to lock in grain prices that work. They either guarantee a break even or a profit. So I think if the guys know their true costs and know when they're ready to sell based on their financial situation, there's opportunity there. I'm not scared of 18.
Opportunity that's creating an optimistic outlook in the new year. Reporting for U.S. Farm Report, I'm Tyne Morgan.